now, so hopefully it doesn't interrupt this video, and if you can hear it, I hope it's nice and relaxing. So this is the promised video, the video that I promised, the story time. I'm gonna call this video My Mouse Horror Story. So yeah, it's essentially the story of a mouse infestation. So let's begin. So the area that I live now has always been quite notorious for mice, for mice getting into your house. My grandma and granddad had a place, and it was just completely overrun with mice. They would set traps and leave poison, then they would leave the property for a while. The mice would be poisoned and caught in traps. Then they would return to the property, and then, they'd have to do all the clean up, they'd have to get rid of all the dead bodies. And the mice just made a complete mess. And my nan hated, my grandma, she hated doing it, because the mice were everywhere. They just tried to plug up all the holes and all the entrance points that the mice could get in. So fast forward a few years, so let's say 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, let's say 6 years, I got my first place here. And everything was good, no sign of mice or anything. So I don't know if you know, but I spend the majority of my time here, and then I go home for the winter. I go to a different house for the winter. So, everything was fine with my new place. I go home for the winter. I come back. Absolute devastation. The mice had got up through the floor. And I kid you not, they were everywhere. They had chewed every bag, every container, all the clothes that were left, sort of lying about. They had eaten all, we've got dogs, so we have dog biscuits, dog food. They were collecting it up and storing it for later. I had 2 drawers in my bedroom, and I pulled out each one of them, and there was a pile of bedding made up of clothes and other bits of whatever the mice were using for bedding, and a pile of dog biscuits that they were saving for later. Next to that, I also had a shelf, or, well, not a shelf, but in the bottom of my wardrobe or closet, whatever you call it, I had my clothes stacked in a pile, some of my clothes, but they were just chewed up and torn to bits. So we did leave that place, and we bought a new place. We were buying a new place anyway. It wasn't just because of the mice, but I left the majority of my good clothes there. All my t-shirts and my trousers, my favourite pair of Lucky trousers, they were just eaten up. And my mum had these boots that had artificial fur inside, and they were basically just using that as a house to sleep in, a nice warm house. So and the other thing that annoyed me was I had a $50 coat, which is about $60, and they chewed it. So around the bottom part, they took a huge chunk out of the bottom part, so that's all ripped and frayed. A huge chunk out of the back, and also the sleeve is all matted and chewed and frayed. It's absolutely useless. £50 coat. I really loved it. It fit me great. It was waterproof, and I was giving it as a gift. I really loved it, but yeah, I found a big cutout, a big piece of this coat. I found it, and it looked like they just chewed it into a blanket shape. So literally, it was there was a part missing, and it was a puzzle or a jigsaw piece. You could place it back inside and sew it together, but the coat is just matted and chewed. It's useless now, as in I can still wear it, but it just, it's significantly decreased in value. So fast forward to the new place, right? So from the old place, we bought a dryer. I don't know if you have dryers in America, but they're basically like washing machines, but they dry your clothes off. And it was only a small dryer, a tumble dryer, and it had a massive like hole at the back where you connected it up to, I don't know, to the electrics, not to the electrics, but it had like a hole for a pipe. And what had happened is the mice had gone inside the dryer, and we've taken the dryer from the old place to the new place, and unbeknownst to us, the mice are inside. So we've put this dryer in my new bedroom, the bedroom in the new place, and they've just come out of the back of the dryer and just gone everywhere. So for the first night in my new place, my mum slept in my bed, and she said she heard some noises, but she couldn't be sure what it was. Some scratching or scampering, which we now know to be mice. But yeah, fast forward to the second night. Early morning, I hear scratching and running about and scampering, and a lot of my stuff was stored in plastic bags. So I heard, crinkling of plastic bags. And I woke up because I heard basically the mice had got into this plastic bag that I had. It was like a rubbish bag that I was just placing the rubbish in, and I was going to put the rubbish in the bin the next day from the first day. So I collected rubbish on the first day, and I was going to, take the rubbish out on the second day. But I looked in the bag. There was like one little mouse, and I tied it up, the rubbish bag, because it was early in the morning, so I couldn't do anything, so I tied the bag up, and the mice drove me crazy for the next 2-3 hours. They were running about and, scampering in the plastic, and there must have been quite a few in the plastic bag that I tied up, so I opened the door and I threw the plastic bag out, and my mum had got up in the morning, so she saw the plastic bag, the rubbish bag, the trash bag, as it were, if you're American, and she picked it up and took it to the main trash. But at the side of my bed, the left-hand side of my bed, there was a mouse there as well that kept running in and out of my things. I had this big bag full of clothes, and it just kept running about and hiding, and and basically I was laying down and I saw this mouse jump up on the bed, and it almost touched my left leg. So I'm lying completely flat. This mouse jumps, however tall a double bed is, it jumps, catches the corner of my bed, almost touches my leg and falls down. At this point I'm completely grossed out, because mice make a huge mess, and I'm just thinking there were loads and loads of these mice just driving me crazy for hours. So of course I managed to get up, it was time to get up, and I come through to the kitchen, I see my mum, and I utter those fateful words. I say, "We've got mice." I explained to her that the bag of trash, or the rubbish that she's just taken out, had mice in, and she said, "I thought it was strange that there was a random bag of trash just sitting outside." So we have to move everything. We set traps, we check everywhere. A few of the places did have signs of mice, and as I obviously know the mice have been in the back of the tumble dryer, I've worked it out. So we've brought the mice here, and they were basically all in my bedroom, so we had to move everything, my bed and all the clothes, everything. One by one we managed to lift everything up and go through everything and clean everything up. But there was this one stubborn mouse, so I have doors on my bedroom leading outside. So me and my mum, this mouse did everything it could to stay indoors. We chased it down and hunted it down, and it just kept getting past us. So I've got a broom, a brush in one hand, and yeah, me and my mum were just trying to get this mouse outside. So every time the mouse would run at her, it would get past her, and every time it would run at me, it got past me. Every time I poked it, it ran. Every time my mum poked it, it ran. So it was getting really frustrating because after a while, we lost sight of the mouse. So we put everything back, and we just did whatever we were doing. And yeah, anyway, I don't know how I found out, but about an hour later I went into my bedroom, noticed the mouse was still there. And yeah, no, what it was it had got inside my bed. My bed has like a storage compartment inside, so the first time we opened the doors outside that led outside from my bedroom, and we took apart my bed, and we put the bed sort of like leaning outside in hope that the mouse would go outside. We could see the mouse inside, and we basically kept having to reach in to try and grab this mouse from inside my bed. So we tried, and yeah, I even got the Hoover on it, the vacuum, to scare it, but after about 5 minutes we lost track of it, and me and my mum were both saying the same. We know it was inside the bed, so where the hell did it go? So then we just gave up because we couldn't see it anymore, put the bed back together, and then we left the bedroom, and then after about an hour I went back in, saw the mouse again, realised it was there, and me and my mum, we had to go inside my bedroom, and we again had to take apart the bed and try to get this mouse out. It did eventually come out of the bed, and we had to chase it about my bedroom. We basically made sure that it couldn't get to one side of my bedroom by making a barricade, so it had no choice to go to the door that led outside. It was getting tired and it was just looking at me, and I used the brush. I had the brush, and I pushed it outside, and it ran a few feet away from me, sat on the grass and looked really, really shocked. But I was so relieved because obviously we've managed to get this mouse out. Otherwise, what could have happened is the mouse could have still been in my bed, and yeah, it could have wreaked havoc. So yeah, it sat on the grass staring at me, really like sort of pissed off that I'd kicked it outside. I didn't kick it, I mean like I'd put it outside. And then after about a minute or so it ran off. So I shut the doors, and that was that. So we basically put poison down and traps and everything, and we're still trying to make sure that this place is mouse free. Long story short, a few weeks ago, not a few weeks ago, but a few months ago, I realised there was a mouse behind the radiator. It's behind the radiator, which is on the wall. It's either under the floorboards or behind the wall. But I hear scratching and scampering, and I hear the typical activity associated with a mouse. But yeah, even to this day, a few months on, I started hearing it about a week ago, about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3. And yeah, I hear it most nights, but I look under the radiator and it's not there. I just hear it. So I've tried everything to get rid of it. I just need to put some poison down. Now guys, I love animals. I don't wish any harm whatsoever. But the amount of damage that mice can do is ridiculous. They chew and destroy everything. Electrics, material, everything. So they have to go. So I'm just waiting for some more poison, I think, because I'm going to leave this place to go home in a few weeks. I'm going to go home for the winter, and I don't want to come back to find the same level of chaos and devastation that I found with the mice in the old place. So I'm hoping it'll just go away. But obviously, as it approaches winter, it's colder, and the mice need somewhere warm to go, so they're automatically driven inside. So I'm making sure that all food is out of the way, you know, etc, etc. But I could do with looking under the furniture because we did put some poison down, but I'll sort it out, and hopefully in the winter, you know, they won't come inside and they won't, you know, devastate things. So that way, we won't have, we won't have a mess caused by mice, and the mice will get to keep their lives. So that's the best case scenario. But worst case scenario, we come back here and we see activity of mice. So yeah, I'll let you know, guys, when I return here next year. You know what the mice situation is. You know, but if you have got them, guys, get rid of them. Do it by your own methods or get an exterminator in. I know it sounds cruel, guys, but you don't want a mouse infestation. Trust me, it's annoying. They annoy the hell out of you. They chew everything. They cause damage, and it costs money to repair. Okay, guys, so that's my mouse horror story. Even when I make the videos, I can hear the mouse scratching under the radiator. But I think it's in the wall or even the floor. I just think there's loads of crawl spaces, and I do think there's one or two in here because it's bound to be, you know. Where I live is pretty, you know, rural. It's, you know, there's a lot of wildlife that can get indoors, so yeah. The rain has picked up a bit, guys, so yeah, I'm going to leave it there for today. I hope you have enjoyed this video and that you found it entertaining and relaxing. Please subscribe and smash the hell out of the subscribe button. Smash the hell out of the like button because it's important that you like the videos, guys, so I can see what kind of content that you're most liking. Okay, guys, this is Shadow ASMR signing out. Take care of yourselves.